Kia ora tātou, welcome back. So we're going to have a look now at configuring and using Mosquito using Node-RED, okay? So this is really the crux of getting into some IoT programming. Now, we looked at these trivial little nodes. I'm just going to delete those and deploy again. Basically, what we've got here is I've got a setup which I've already pre-configured for you. Each one of these nodes here does something. We'll go through them, and attached to it is a comment node, and you can double click on that and it's going to give us some information about this. So basically what we've got here is we've got a flow that I've written, and what it does is it gets some information from the Mosquito broker, and then it does a bit of time formatting on it, and then it makes up a response, and it sends it back out through the Mosquito broker to anyone who is subscribed to that particular topic, okay? And at the same time, we've got a debug node so I can watch what's going on locally. So let's have a look at where we get these nodes from. When you installed Mosquito, what happens is it installed the nodes in the palette down here. So there's MQTT in node. You can see the orange, it's not configured correctly, and the blue dot saying that needs to be deployed. So I can go in there and it says, hey, I've got a server and a topic that I need to enter. So I've already done this, so I'm going to run through the setup that I've got. This here, I've got a Mosquito server setup. In fact, I've got two versions of the Mosquito setup, one with a password and one without. So I'm just using the no password version at the moment. And to set up the server, you just click on this edit and it will go now to setting up the server. And basically all the server is something listening on port 1183 on this thing called the local host. Now the local host means that it's just the IP address of the machine that you are running on at the moment. So we're running on 192.168.1.101, so I could put that in, okay, and it would work just as well, because basically that's me. In other words, go to port 1883 on me, okay, and that's what localhost means. So localhost is a nice way of not having to type in your IP address. And really, I haven't got anything else much in here. I've got no security set up. Got no default messages or anything. I've just set up the connection to localhost 1883. So what's going to happen now is that anything that comes in on Mosquito is going to come back through this localhost mode. I'm going to update this, and it's going to come into the node and it's going to say, does it meet the criteria for this topic? So I've got a test topic, and then I've got a subtopic plus. And what that means is that it will accept any topic that is a subtopic of test. So at this stage it might be Bill, or it might be Fred, or it might be 101, or it might be whatever you want to call this subtopic. It's going to accept it. As long as the main topic is test, it will accept the subtopic as well. So what I'm going to do is I need some way of testing this. So there's multiple ways of testing this. One of the ways that I can test it is I can go back to my command line interface here, and remember I asked you to set up the Mosquito tools. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to look down here to setting up Mosquito, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to publish something to I'm going to Mosquito publish to the host, to the website localhost. The topic will be test, and it will be hello world, okay? So let's go back over here to done this, and I'll deploy this, and I want to make sure to see that I get anything out of my debug node. So I'm gonna publish this now and send it a little message to the broker, okay? Now nothing happened. Why is that? Well, that's because I published it to test, but I didn't publish it to a subtopic, okay? So I'm going to publish it to that. So there we go. Now what we've got is our debug is working, okay? So basically what happened was it passed through here. The first one didn't pass through here because it was only addressed to topic test. What this needed is it needed to be a test / something, some subtopic, okay? And then what it did was it went to this moment node. Now moment is JavaScript function for formatting date and time. Now, what I've got here is I've got time zone of ETC or GMT, another acronym for basically the same thing. And the output, so I'm getting in some message.foo. It doesn't really matter. Foo just means, hey, something. It's just, I'm getting this message. I'm not going to do anything with the message. Really, all I want to do is grab the time, locale New Zealand, output time zone Pacific Auckland, and output it to a message.now. Now that means the message that's going out has got some subfields, and one of those is I've created called now. So what it's going to do is it's going to send out this as 3 Ds, small Ds, tells me that it's going to be, say if today is Tuesday, TUE, or if it was Friday, FRI, or Sunday, SUN, okay, and it's going to send out the hours. Now if I put in double H there, it's going to send out like 0102, but if I just put in 1, it's just going to put out the 1, okay, and then it's going to put out the minutes, and then the seconds, and then the A on the end tells me that it's AM, PM, okay, so it's going to create this moment in time, and that's what this moment program is all about. So what it's doing is the moment you receive something, and what you're going to receive is my topic is, well, let's actually have a look here. What I can do here is I can create another debug node and look at what's coming in. Okay, so that's this. I'm going to put this here and see what's coming in, compare it to what's going out. So I'm going to clear my debug up here, and then I'm going to send in my little hello world again. Okay, so here's what I got. This node here, this node, this information here comes from this node, and this information here comes from this node. So what I'm really looking at here is, hey, what has come in from my MQTT broker, and what is coming out of it has got something to do with test. So if I just look at this, I can just make this a little bit nicer. The topic was test/bill, and its payload, in other words, what it sent, was hello world. Okay. We don't need to worry about message IDs and stuff like that. And so what happens then is that information is sent to our date and time formatter. It's not doing anything with the information that comes through. So this here is message.topic and message.payload. So this is how we're going to pass information around. We do it through a message object. This is the message object here, and it's got some subfields, one called topic, one called payload. Now what I've done is I pop through here, and it actually creates another field for me. So let's just put this over here, delete that, and see what's coming out of our date and time formatter. Okay, and just to make that less confusing, I'll delete the other debug node. So I've only got one debug. So what's going to happen is when I publish this now, okay, I get some information here, and what I've got is where's this come from? Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of that and publish this again. No, where's that coming from? I'm not too sure. I've got the same message object here. Okay, what I've got is a message coming out of our date time formatter. Let's see, what have we got? There it is. So I've got to actually, what I've got here is I've got the message coming in and the message going out, both of them appearing here on my debug node. Now, what's coming in is test/bill as a topic, and the payload is hello world. What's coming out as the topic, response/, now this is something's not configured correctly. I know what it is. I haven't deployed it. Okay, I didn't deploy my last changes, so that's why I'm getting confused. Okay, I would love to say I did that on purpose, but I didn't. Okay, so now I'll just deploy that, and we'll send our message again, hello world again. Okay, so I'm sending that, and now what I'm getting here is what's coming out of the date and time formatter. Okay, so I've got test.world coming in, and I've got a payload of hello world again, and you'll notice now I've now got a new sub field called now, and that's the date and time that I configured, okay, using my date time formatter field. So that's what this configuration does, is it sets it up in a nice way like that. So there's lots of different options for here, many of them. You can look up moment.js and it'll help you do all that. So this is what's coming. What came in was the topic and payload, and what's going out is topic, payload, and now. And that's what's going into make response. So let's delete this one from here. In fact, no, we'll leave that one, right? And we'll also, we'll just move this over and we can drag another one in there so we can actually see two things that are happening at once. So I'll remember to deploy this time, and I will deploy that, yep, and I will delete the log of things that happen. And what I'm going to do is send my hello world g'day. Okay, so I'm now going to send that. What I've got now is I've got two responses here. Okay, one came out of the formatter and one came out of make response. See if we can figure out what the two of them are. So the first one that came in is test/bill as the topic, and there's the payload g'day and the time now. Now what's coming out of make response is actually response/bill as a topic. Notice how I've changed from test to response. My payload has now changed. It's okay on Friday 11:13:57 a.m. and I've still got now, okay? So what's happening is I've got my response in here. I've got some JavaScript code which is making up a response for me. So whatever's coming in is coming in my message object, and then I can actually manipulate it. So the first thing I do is I create a variable called topic, which is just local to this node, and it takes whatever's in message.topic. So we know what message.topic is coming in. It's test/bill. And then when we create a subtopic which replaces test with emptiness. In other words, it deletes test and slash. So what we end up with is a subtopic. So we know what the subtopic is. It might be Bill, it might be Fred, it might be 101, it might be my friend, whatever you call your subtopic. Okay, we're getting rid of the topic, the main part of the topic, and replacing it with just the subtopic. And I'm saving this into a variable in the flow. Now it's really important that you understand the scope of variables in programming, and the scope of variables in programming of Node.js, Node Read on Node.js. You've got variables which are visible to every other node in the flow, or this variable here which is only visible within the local node. Okay, so I've said flow.set user as subtopic, and that's, I'm saying, hey, Bill's the user. Okay, so I'm just telling you that I'm going to save this username into the flow so that any other node can use my subtopic. Okay, and it's going to be called user. Now topic, again, I've taken my original topic, message.topic, and I'm replacing test with response. And so that's what's coming out of my node is a new topic, response/bill. Okay, so I've just replaced test with response, and then I've built another variable called response, okay on, and there's the time and date. Okay, and now message.topic, I've got to actually create my topic. So I'm copying what I created up here, which is response/bill, into message topic so that it's what's going to go out. And my payload is now my response, which is, of course, the time. Okay. So this is how I build up my topic and payload using a bit of JavaScript inside a JavaScript node. So that's what's happening there. So that there is now being published. Okay. Every time I get some information, right, it's getting published. Okay, so where's it getting published to? Well, actually, it's not getting published to anywhere at the moment. Our publishing little software here is publishing this message to test/bill, and then it's going into our broker, and no one has subscribed to this topic yet. Okay, so what we need is that we need a subscriber. Okay, so let's think. I've got an application on my computer called MQTT Box. Now this is a great little Windows application, and as you can see, I've got some different MQTT clients set up here. But this is the one I've got EE101 Pi setup, and you can just create a new MQTT client like this. You can give it a name like Bill's Pi, but I might call it, you know, EE101 Pi, whatever, and then you just add to it the information. You don't need to change the client ID, you don't need to change anything about this adding the timestamp, that's fine. If you do need to change this to TCP, okay, and you need to change the host. So where is this going to? Well, it's going to 192.168.1.101, and of course it is going to Mosquito. Now Mosquito is set up on 1883, okay? So that's where it's going to. I can see that it's set up on 1883, just let me just double check that. Mosquito I've got set up as default on 1883. So this is how you set up a broker, okay? Now at this stage, I haven't set up a username or password, okay? There's no protection on this. And that's all you need to do, and then just save it, okay? And that will then create it for you. Now I've already saved it. Back here, I'm going to go to EE101 Pi, and I'm going to see that it's connected. It connects automatically, okay? Now if it's not connected, you'll see a little orange or something here, red one to say it's not connected. And you, in this MQTT box, you can change your client settings, okay? So this is where I've got my client name, EE101 Pi. I've got MQTT TCP. There's the HTTP, there's the IP address and the port. I do have passwords set up on this at the moment, but you don't need it, and because it's ignoring it at the moment. So basically what we're going to do now is I can publish from this, and then what I can do is I can subscribe to it. So although my, I'll just delete that because we don't want to subscribe to anything at the moment. We're just going to publish to it at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this to send information to my Raspberry Pi, and it should appear over here, okay? So let's just have a bit of a play. I'm going to send this to test/bill, okay? This you want to make sure the quality of service is set to 0 typically. And I'm going to send sup dude. Now, okay, you may think Bill's a bit funny writing funny language like that, but that's okay. So I'm just going to publish that, and hey, presto, it appeared out of my debug node. So I know that this is working okay. So what we've got here is, again, response/bill. If I change this to, you know, response-tom, there we go, I've got response/tom, and I might go, you know, I might publish it to that, okay? So I can just put in any particular one that I want to send to. Now noticing at the same time that whatever you send it to is what's going to come out the other end, okay? So I'm just going to send that, publish that, cool. Now what I need is I need a subscriber, so I can add a subscriber here, and the topic I want to subscribe to is response/bill, okay? And quality of service 0, and now you actually have to subscribe to it. So hey, I'm now subscribing to anything that's going to come in on this topic. So let's go over here. I'm going to move my tab. I'm going to subscribe. I'm going to publish from this window. I'm going to watch what happens on my debug node, and see that it appears in my response. So I'm just going to, hello, test/bill, g'day Bill. Okay, so here it is. It went through the debug node, was sent out to the broker again, and it appeared here to say, hey, what's the message? Response/bill, message ID, you know, this is what I got back. Now there's no information here. That's because this is not set up to actually get anything. All it's doing is just accepting a prompt from what's coming in, okay? So now this is really quite useful sort of system for setting up and responding, and you can set this up to get all sorts of data and things. You can add multiple publishers, but you notice if I set this up to, you know, response/query, and I subscribe to that, and I come over here and I publish to it, I'm not getting it because I'm not subscribed to the right topic. So I need to be subscribed to the right topic. Right. So now there we go. So now what we've got is I can use this as a publisher. I can use this as a publisher. So for instance, if I now publish here hi there, Bill. I'm going to publish here. It's going to go to my MQTT broker. It's going to pass through this chain, and then the broker is going to send it back out to anyone who is subscribed to it. So why don't I put up a little subscription here as well? Let me go back to my window, and I can see how to set up a subscription for that. Right, let's copy this, copy that, and I'm going to paste it in here. But of course I need to subscribe. Oh, hold on, I copied the wrong one. Let's get rid of that. I want to publish, I want to subscribe. Now, here we go. There, sorry, there it is there. Control C. Right, so now I'm going to subscribe. Remember, I've got to subscribe to Bill, okay? Test/Bill, that's the topic and the subtopic. So now it's just sitting there waiting for anything to be pushed to it. So this one here, okay, is waiting as it's a subscriber, and over here I've got a subscriber, and you can download an app on your phone and subscribe to it, and as soon as you send something, it's going to go through this chain and push it out to both subscribers. So I'll just sup again and publish it. Okay, so I got it here, I got sup, and over here I got the response to say what it was that we actually subscribed to something to see that we were getting it. We don't actually get the message here. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just call this as a little simple stop at this point, because this is a great excuse me, this is a great deal of information here. And we've got an awful lot of information. An interesting thing about this is I've put in here a whole lot of comments that you can read about this sort of stuff, okay? Just so that you can understand what's going on. Hopefully this has been a useful video about like how a publisher sends stuff to the MQTT broker, how Node-RED listens for things on that particular topic, can play around with the information and send it back out to the broker again, which then delivers it to anybody who is subscribed to that particular topic. I hope that's been a useful bit of information, and we'll move on in the next video to something a bit closer to this. Cheers.